Tobias and Tobleam, Double the Trouble, Act 1, Prank Kings in Training. The twins' world, personalities, and school chaos are introduced. Chapter 1, The Bubble Gym Incident. Okay, I admit it, things might have gotten slightly out of hand. But in my defense, and this is very important, it was Tobleam's idea. Tobleam's soggy signature plan, to be precise. Not mine. Not even close. Except, apparently, when you're an identical twin, teachers don't care about details like whose idea it was. They just see double trouble and hand out double detention. But before I explain how our school gym ended up filled with 2,000 gallons of foam, you need to know something. We are the Jenkins twins. Tobias, that's me, the responsible one. Tobleam, my slightly evil twin, with a name that sounds like a wizard sneezing. We live in the most boring town on planet Earth. Nothing exciting ever happens here, except for the occasional bake sale or the time Mrs. Hopper's cat got stuck in the vending machine. That's why we prank, for the greater good. To add spice. And today was supposed to be our greatest prank ever. It was the annual Sogwood Middle School Science Fair. You know, where kids pretend they know what they're doing, teachers pretend to care, and parents pretend not to be bored out of their minds. The whole school was gathered in the gym. There were volcanoes that barely fizzed, robots made out of cardboard boxes, a girl called Daisy trying to prove her hamster could do algebra. Spoiler, it couldn't. And then, there was us. The Bubble Blaster 3000. Okay, technically it was just a giant industrial-strength bubble machine we found in Dad's shed. But when you add Tobleam's homemade bubble mixture, which contained way too much dish soap and possibly a suspicious amount of glue, you get chaos. Tobias, Tobleam had whispered as we wheeled it behind the stage. This is going to be legendary. Or we're going to be expelled. Pfft. He waved a hand. Relax. Science fairs are all about experiments. We're about to experiment with awesome. In hindsight, trusting Tobleam with scientific equipment was mistake number one. We waited until Principal Gruff got on stage. He's called Gruff for a reason. Picture a grizzly bear in a suit, but angrier. Welcome to the Sogwood Middle School Science Fair, he began, holding a microphone like he wanted to strangle it. Tobleam hit the button. The Bubble Blaster 3000 roared to life. At first, a few bubbles drifted across the gym. Kids clapped. The PTA smiled. Daisy's hamster sneezed. It was going great. Then the entire gym floor disappeared under a mountain of foam. Bubbles poured out like a tsunami. They swallowed the judge's table. The PTA vanished. Daisy's hamster paddled past, riding a floating science project. Abort! Abort! I yelled, but it was too late.
Foam! Splosh! Blorb!
The gym turned into a giant soapy snow globe. Tobias, stop panicking, Tobleam grinned, covered in bubbles. This is the greatest day of my life. You said this was going to be small scale. It is small scale, for like, the Pacific Ocean. We tried to escape, but bubbles are slippery. Tobleam fell. I fell on top of him. The hamster paddled past, looking extremely judgmental. Then we heard the growl, Principal Gruff, emerging from the foam like an angry sea monster. Jenkins twins! His face was purple. His suit was dripping. And in that moment, we knew three things. 1, we were so busted. 2, we were definitely getting detention for life. 3, the floor beneath the foam was making a weird creaking noise. Tobleam noticed it first. Tobias, what's that under the stage? I followed his gaze. The foam was swirling around a hatch? Is that a door? Before we could process it, the gym floor beneath us tilted. We tumbled backwards, straight through the hidden hatch, landing in darkness.
Foom!
Everything went black, except for the sound of bubbles still sloshing overhead. Busted meter 98%, basically doomed. Sibling scoreboard. Tobias, 0. Tobleam, I told you this would be awesome. And that's how our greatest prank ever turned into the weirdest adventure of our lives. Chapter 2. 1 principal, 2 headaches. Waking up in a supply closet under the school gym is not how I planned to spend my afternoon. Especially not soaked in soap bubbles. Especially not with my twin brother drooling on my shoulder. Tobleam, I nudged him. Get off, you're leaking. He snorted himself awake, wiping foam off his face. Did we win? Win what? Detention? Yeah, we won that. The trapdoor we'd fallen through had dumped us into a dusty, dark closet. Mop buckets, old chairs, a suspicious pile of, was that glitter? Never mind. We pushed the door open and climbed back into the gym. Correction, what used to be the gym. Now it looked like a snowstorm had fought a car wash and lost. Foam everywhere, kids slipping, teachers yelling, a goat eating someone's science project. Wait, we have a goat? We should probably leave, I suggested. We should be knighted, Tobleam declared, fist pumping the air, for services to chaos. Before we could escape, the air filled with the unmistakable sound of angry footsteps.
Thud, thud, thud.
Principal gruff. If you've never been glared at by a 6-foot-tall, foam-soaked, extremely furious principal, I recommend keeping it that way. His face was red. His shoes squeaked with soap. And in his hand, detention slips. Dozens of them. Jenkins, his voice was low. Dangerous. Like a volcano right before it explodes. Tobleam smiled politely. Technically, that's Jenkins. Plural. Silence. Gruff shoved 2 detention slips into our hands so hard they almost caught fire. What do you have to say for yourselves? Science fair? I offered weakly. We contributed foam dynamics? Gruff's eyebrow twitched. Congratulations, boys. You've managed to humiliate this school, endanger the PTA, and flood my gym with enough bubbles to clean the entire town. You're welcome, Tobleam said. I kicked him. Gruff loomed closer. We shrank back. He growled. You've got 3 options. Option 1, clean every inch of this gym, bubbles or not. Option 2, official suspension. Option 3, one final prank, supervised, to redeem your sorry reputations. Tobleam's eyes lit up. Wait, you're offering us permission to prank? Supervised. Gruff's teeth clenched. By me. My brain tried to process this. Principal Gruff, king of the no-fun zone, letting us pull a prank? There had to be a catch. What's the prank? I asked, narrowing my eyes. Gruff smirked. You'll find out, if you survive detention. Gruff pointed toward the hallway. Now, my office. You have exactly 5 minutes to explain yourselves before I call your parents. Or the fire department. I glanced at Tobleam. He grinned. Worst day ever, I sighed. You mean greatest trouble ever. We were doomed. Chapter 3. The Twin Blame Game. If you've never had to sit outside the principal's office, covered in soap bubbles, listening to your brother hum the theme tune from Mission Impossible, congratulations. You've made better life choices than me. Stop humming, I muttered, wringing foam out of my hoodie. Tobleam leaned back in his chair, feet on the wall, grinning like he'd just won a Nobel Prize for disaster. I can't help it. We're living the dream, Tobias. The dream? I stared at him. We nearly drowned the PTA. You fell through a hidden door. We're 2 minutes away from a lifetime ban on pranks, snacks, and oxygen. Details. This is what it's like being a twin. People think it's all finishing each other's sentences and psychic connections. It's not. It's mostly arguing over who's to blame for the world collapsing around you. This is your fault, I told him. Incorrect. Tobleam pointed dramatically at me. This is your fault. My fault. You were the one who said, hey Tobias, let's borrow Dad's industrial bubble machine. Nothing bad will happen. I also said we should add glitter, and you vetoed it. If we'd used glitter, the bubbles would have looked amazing. So technically, your fault. Technically, I tried to stop you entirely. Technically, you're a buzzkill. Technically, I'm the reason you still have eyebrows after last year's marshmallow cannon incident. Tobleam opened his mouth for a comeback, but the principal's door creaked open. We froze. Gruff wasn't in the mood for twin banter. His face was still soap-streaked. His eyes burned with rage. His tie was covered in bubbles. Inside, now. We shuffled into his office, twin trails of foam marking our path like snails of doom. Gruff sat behind his desk, steepling his fingers like a movie villain. Explain. I opened my mouth. Tobleam opened his mouth. We both talked at once. It was his idea. He pressed the button. Gruff's eyebrow twitched so hard it nearly left his forehead. One at a time. Look, I began. I just wanted to enter a normal science project. Tobleam insisted on chaos. Correction. Tobleam jumped in. I suggested enhancing the science fair. Tobias chickened out, but I had a vision. A vision of bubbles swallowing the gym? A vision of greatness. Gruff sighed, pinching the bridge of his nose. You do realize, between you, you've cost this school approximately 1,000 pounds in bubble cleanup fees. Technically, Tobleam began. I elbowed him. Shut up. Gruff slid a file across the desk. On the front, Jenkins twins, disciplinary history. It looked thicker than the school dictionary. This is your record, Gruff growled. It's impressive. Thanks, Tobleam said. That wasn't a compliment. Gruff flipped through pages. The banana peel hallway incident. The great glue stick gluing. The mystery of the mascot's missing pants. He snapped the file shut. One more prank, one more disaster, and you're both banned. No school events. No field trips. No science fairs. No. He paused. Whatever weird thing you did with the goat. We didn't do that, I protested. Probably, Tobleam added. Gruff fixed us with his laser stare. You've got one chance to redeem yourselves. You accept my supervised prank challenge, or you're grounded until you graduate university. Busted meter, 99.9%. on life support. Sibling scoreboard. Tobias, 1 logical brain cell. Tobleam, 1 chaotic brain cell. I considered the options. Get expelled, or play along with the most dangerous prank mission of our lives. Supervised by Principal Gruff. We're in, Tobleam declared before I could speak. I groaned. This is going to end badly. Or it's going to be legendary. Spoiler alert, it was both.